Hello and welcome to Sociology 250, the community. In the summer of 2017, I'm Professor Greg Fulkerson. I'll be your instructor, and currently you are watching the orientation video for our course, where I'm just going to walk through some of the mechanics of how the course will be run, how things are organized, and so forth. And right away you'll notice I'm already logged in, and I'm assuming you've used Blackboard before. But essentially you just type in blackboard.oneonta.edu, and then you choose our course from the courses that are listed. So when you log in, you're going to come to this page. This is our home page. As you'll notice in the left pane, we've got a navigation menu, and you come to the home page first. Generally, if your professor doesn't change that, you come to the announcements page, but I find this oftentimes to be unhelpful for people and a little bit confusing and something we don't really look at that much. But I leave it there in case you want to use it, but I don't rely heavily on the announcements page. Next is the syllabus page, and I will just point you to that. I'm not going to go through it with you right now, but if you click on the syllabus, of course, you can go through the contents of that, and I encourage you to do so very early on. Much of the contents of the syllabus are also shown under modules, and the way this class is organized is into subject areas that we call modules. The first of which, Module 0, is really just an introduction. And of course, watching this video is the first step, so you're already on your way. And going through the syllabus is important, and when you get a chance, please participate in the Meet Your Classmates discussion, which you can find listed under discussions, under assignments, and also ask a question, right? So please just post something on both of those just to get acquainted with that. Those are not graded. And then once you're done with the introductions, please go on to get started with the work of the class, and that means going on to Module 1. And you'll see each module is laid out basically the same way. We have the dates of the module, and I list the dates of the business week. What you do on the weekend is your business. You're welcome to work through the weekend, but most of the due dates for the assignments of this class are on Fridays. Right? So for the first module, that'd be the 26th, and you can see that's when you take the first exam, and then for that you have a 24-hour window, and that's the case with all the exams of the course. They're all on Fridays, and they all are open for 24 hours. That is from 12 a.m. until 11:59 p.m. at night. So up here we see the next part of how the module is organized. We have this what is due and when, and all modules have the lectures, which are all in video format, and if you click on the links, you'll be brought to the videos, which are all on YouTube and viewable. And I encourage you to watch those first before you do anything else, just to get the basic foundation for that module in terms of the knowledge base. And then, of course, I want you to do the readings. We have two textbooks in the class, Line and Driscoll and Robinson and Green, so make sure you're reading and keeping up with those. And then I often will link PDF documents that are also required reading or else supplemental reading and correspond to some important concept of the module. From there, we get down to the work of the module. All modules will start with presentation and readings, but then the actual work begins down here with our discussions. And all discussions require the same minimal level of participation. There's going to be your first post, and that's going to happen the first day of the discussion. And by the second day, you're going to have 2 replies to classmates, and that's going to be the case with all discussions. And so just plan on logging in daily to the class. It is a 5-week class, so you're going to want to participate daily. But when you participate is up to you. Nothing in the class requires you to be on at a particular time. Just you have to be mindful of our deadlines. And so the first discussion takes up the first 2 days of the module. The next discussion takes up the next 2 days. So in this case, discussion 1 is on the 22nd and 23rd. Discussion 2 is on the 24th and 25th. And then you're taking the exam on the last day. Now, all the assignments are down here, you'll notice. So when you're ready to take the exam, you click on Exams. When you're ready to participate in the discussion, you click on Discussion. And as the other part of the class, beyond exam and discussions, is a paper we'll be writing, and there's different pieces we'll be writing, and that's the community plan paper. And we'll get started with that when we get to the second module of the class. So you'll see down here, you'll have your usual discussions, the presentations and readings first, followed by discussions, the weekly Friday exam, and the paper associated with our community plan. And there's actually several sub-papers which wind up being pieces of the final paper. And with these deadlines, I'm giving you through the weekend. So if you want to, you can use the weekend to work on the paper, and that'll be due the following Monday. All right, so the first is a community profile paper. When you're ready to work on that, you come down here to community plan. And let's just take a look at those. If you click on the community plan, you're going to see just an overview there about the assignment. And we've got 1, 2, 3 papers we'll be writing, and then we'll be putting those papers together to make the final plan. So the individual papers are profile paper, where you're going to be essentially looking at census information and newspaper articles to paint a picture of this community you've chosen to study. Then we'll be getting into analyzing the community using different theories, which you'll see how that corresponds to the different modules of the class. We're going to study and write a paper about community development with that same community in mind. And then as you see down here, the final paper will include the profile, the theoretical analysis, and the community development analysis. And the final paper of the 5-week class will be 8 to 10 pages, double-spaced, and include all those pieces. So by breaking it into smaller chunks, it gives me a chance to give you feedback before we turn in the final paper. The final paper is worth 100 points, and these individual subparts are each worth 20 points. So you want to make sure to do all those when they're assigned. The exams, when you're ready to take those, if you come over here under assignments, right, click on exams. You're not going to see them until they're open. That is, until the first Friday, you're not going to see any exams listed there. But trust me, they're there. They're just hidden from view. I'm going into edit mode, which is what I see. And so when you're ready to take it, you'll see each of the individual exams listed. And when you click on it, you'll be able to take the exam. And all exams are about 45 questions, and you'll have 45 minutes. So about 1 question per minute. And I find people usually take about half of that. So that's plenty of time. Everybody gets to take an exam twice. And so if something like the internet goes out, or when you're done you realize you should have answered something differently, well, you get a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance, I think, right? So the exams and the discussions and the community plan paper are all what I grade. If you click on discussions, you'll see a similar thing there. If the module says go do discussion 1, you come over here and click that. And these are just kind of straightforward questions. With the discussions, you will not see anybody else's post until you've created your own thread. So this is going to look empty. But after you finish creating your thread, you'll then be able to see everybody else's work. And then, of course, you're going to have to reply to 2 other posts in order to get full credit for that discussion. All right. And give or take, each of these assignments is worth about 1/3 of the grade. You'll see the actual breakdown if you go to the syllabus. And I'm not going to go through the whole syllabus with you. That's for you to do, but I will just draw your attention for the sake of looking at the grades to the weights. And I do use a weighted grading system. Discussions are worth 35%. The community plan papers were 30%, and exams are worth 35%. So it's about 1/3 each. Slightly less weight given to the paper. And then if you want to check your grades, you're probably familiar with this already, but if you go to the Grade Center, you'll see under the Full Grade Center all of the columns. This is empty for now, but you will see all of the exams, all the discussions, all the papers there. If you have any questions, again, just go back to that home page. You can email me if you have a question, right? There's my email address listed, folkergm@oneonta.edu. And if you have a class question that other people might benefit from participating in, there's always the Ask a Question. Right? You can click that and post a question, and maybe your classmates can answer it for you. All right, that's it for the orientation. Good luck, and I hope you have a great semester. Thank you.